Hi, we're here today. We're going to do some flushing of a little used outlet, and this is an addendum to RAM 19. So this doesn't replace RAM 19, it just emphasises the key points. One of the things we've noticed and what we should be doing to protect ourselves is very often you're sent to do a flushing of a little used outlet in a site that has a persistent Legionella problem. Now that could be a risk to yourself. And I think it's important that we remember that we sort of risk assess ourselves. So don't forget what the HSE tell us increases the risk of Legionella: heart complaints, diabetes, kidney problems, cancer, any underlying drug therapies. All of these can increase the risk of Legionnaire's disease. Now that could happen to you. So if you're tasked with flushing, you must ensure that you protect yourself. So first off, we're going to look at the equipment that we're going to use. And the first thing that you should use here, Tobes, if you want to come in and look at this, on your iPad are your tasks, and in these red blocks, they are showing you where we know that historically we found Legionella on site before. Now, if that happens, and you know it's a problematic site, you must ensure that you apply RAM 19. It's written in there, but my concern is we're not doing it, and we're not doing risk assessments on ourselves, really. So, the equipment we're doing: iPad, come-in tapes, rubber bands, pieces of string, depending on what sort of outlet you're using, thermometer, bin bags for if you're flushing showers, and then just two different sides of food-grade freezer bag. And we're going to flush this, then a pair of scissors and some disinfectant. So first things first, if you know you've got a problematic site, I would spray, and I'm not going to do this here now because I'm going to cover myself in bleach, I would spray the outlet with disinfectant first. Now that's to protect you and to knock out any contamination that's there. Then we take a food bag. So this is a large freezer grade food bag. Cut the corner off. And then in this case I'm going to use an elastic band because I know it actually works well on this. Double up an elastic band, put it on your outlet. Use the sheath to go over, and bring the elastic band back over the outlet. Now, if you flush that, you've eliminated, if we think about what we do in Legionella risk assessments, we have the source, and we know there's Legionella in this water system here. The pathway, which is the aerosol, is the way that the Legionella is transmitted, and the receptor, which in this case could be you. And if we knock any one of those three out, we've controlled the risk. Now if you come in and show this bag, Tobes, using a bag, you're knocking out the aerosol. Now your prime responsibility is to yourselves, your own health and safety. So if you know you fit one of those vulnerable criteria, make sure you read your iPad, make sure you employ this method. Now in addition to this, once you've finished, now I've got no problem with you reusing the sheath to save time, going from outlet to outlet, but if you are sampling, make sure you disinfect the outlet afterwards because there's a very real risk of cross-contamination. And in fact, if you are sampling, make sure you apply the sampling methodology religiously. And that's it, that's how you flush a little used outlet safely. Okay, we're going to go next and we'll do a shower. Okay, so this is part 2, and this is how you're going to safely flush a shower. Now, I don't know if you want to come in close, and don't step on your iPad, mate. This is actually a Delaby anti-Legionella shower head, so this will be quite safe anyway, but for the purposes of this, we're going to assume this is an ordinary shower head. And also, doesn't comply with the water regs because someone's taken off its retaining ring, unsurprisingly. But let's just assume it's an ordinary shower. We need to flush it or take a temperature from it. And on this, again, on this I'm still going to use an elastic band, but you could use string, it might be easier with string. Put it over the shower head, and we're going to use that as a retainer. And a bin bag. Now again, all the issues about spraying the head with a disinfectant solution still relevant, and just be minded, I didn't use gloves in the early part of the video, I probably shouldn't use gloves, and the bottle should have been properly marked up. So I've got my bin bag, or this gardening bag. Again, I'm going to cut a little corn off. Stick it over the shower head. Use the elastic band to retain it in place. And then just hold it again so that, I don't know if you want to show this tapes, so that there's no aerosol. And flush for the required period of time, or until the temperature stabilises. Now, interestingly enough, this is an issue because it would be pointless flushing with this Derby shower head on, because there's a little membrane in there that will catch any Legionella, but you notice it's leaking out here, and there have been issues where the shower is sort of short-circuited and you've got an aerosol coming out prior to the shower head. But just to note, that's how you're going to safely flush that shower head. And the key bit is you need to do a risk assessment on yourselves. You know how ill or well you are. Just because it's your job, don't think it becomes the everyday mundane thing where you're not going to be affected. You could be. Do a risk assessment. Make a note on your iPad that if there's Legionella involved, and if at all, if your health changes in any way, make sure you tell Pip. Cheers guys, and good luck.